Hey there, it's Bryan again, and it's about 4:30 in the morning, so I'm talking in 4:30 in the morning hushed tones. I just wanted to thank everybody for watching There You Go, and we just clicked over 2,100 views. I can't believe that, but as a way to celebrate, I thought it would be nice to take you guys on a little vacation. So we're going to... That's right, we're going to Honolulu, Hawaii. Let's see what's there on There You Go. Okay, well, what somebody forgot to tell me is going to Honolulu, Hawaii is really expensive. And since we're working on donations for this, we are going to have to settle for the halfway point of this trip, and we're going to call it... Yeah, I think we'll have fun. Check it out. Hey there, it's Bryan, and I am definitely not in Chicago today. I am in Fremont, California, visiting historical landmark number 334, Mission San Jose. This is Mission San Jose, built in 1797 by Father Fermin Francisco de Lucian, 14th of 21 Spanish missions in Alto, California. Is this beautiful or what? You got your bell tower up there, and another one above that one. Let's check out this beautiful front door. Now, this is the sad thing that I find about a lot of churches today. Front door is locked. I don't quite understand that. I always feel like the doors to churches should be open, at least during the day. But we will enter where it says entrance. That's right down this path here. We've got some nice shade trees here as we come up the side ramp to the, so you enter through the gift shop right here. So we'll just head on up and see what's going on at the old Mission San Jose. This is the 225th anniversary. Oh, here you go. They've got the little sign up there. Obviously somebody's over there taking care of the lawn. Now, as we enter the first room of the old mission in San Jose, this is what we see. It's kind of a tribute to the natives who would have been here back in 1797 when this mission was built. They have some clam and abalone shell, as well as a Native American headdress. Not quite as colorful as one might think. This was a smaller version for some of the priests to come and pray in private. Light a candle. Say a prayer. Now, this was state-of-the-art for the late 1700s, or possibly this was added on afterwards. Not sure why they have this fancy saddle here, but it says here that it depicts the rancher period of when this church was built. It's a pretty fancy saddle, though. Reference point. This is what the mission looked like back in 1915. And the Mexican government at one point took possession of all of these missions throughout California. And they took them away from the Padres and gave them to the natives as long as they acted in a Spanish manner. Yeah, they have some old horse yokes that were used of the period. Fancy. This is what the priest would wear. Pretty wild. Oh, they've got some nice artwork on the walls. And here they have one of the original bells from the mission. It was used to wake people in the morning, call them to lunch, call them to dinner, call them to prayer.
Declared independence from Spain. Church and state no longer cooperated
As you can see, they do school tours here as well. This is the old rock garden out here. And look at these beautiful supports. They've been here for so long, over 200 years. We're going into the main chapel. Let's check it out. Wow, this is so cool. Just beautiful. Now there are several different beautiful pieces of art here in the church, and this is one of them. It's original to the early 1700s, and it's one of the only pieces of art that survived the great earthquake of 1868. It's called Behold the Man. Now in 1980, they wound up doing a great deal of restoration on this church, and they discovered that right in the middle of the church there was a grave, the grave of Don Roberto Livermore, who was the namesake for the town of Livermore, and they decided to just leave his grave right here. This is the only hand-painted baptismal font in the state of California. It was originally, they originally had to pay 25 pesos, I should say, to have this made in the early 1700s. Now in 1830, for the 25th anniversary of the church, they added in all of this faux finishing here to make it look like these were marble pillars. It's in incredible shape for the age, but it runs throughout the entire church. Now, out to the left of the church is the old cemetery. This is quite amazing and quite old. You have to remember, at one point there were just shy of 2,000 American Indians who lived on this land, and they were being educated and converted by the Catholic priest who lived here. So you had quite the community. You had not only the natives, but the priest, and you had people who worked in the office. Mary Doyle, native of C.O. Carlisle, Ireland. Quite the mishmash of interesting stories here. Many different people from many different cultures all brought together by this one mission. Now, some of these people have been at rest here for so long that they've had to add in replacement headstones. Evarista Justin. My goodness, she was only 1 year old. She was born literally 100 years before me. 101. We've done a wonderful job keeping this place up, but to be honest, I mean, some of these graves are just so incredibly old. It's, I mean, they're just disintegrating practically. I mean, here we have a cross that is just literally coming apart. Who knows how long this has been here? Probably one of the fathers. Now, I'm assuming these are cremation vaults, but as you can see by the dates, people are still buried here, even up to 2021. Love you too, Mom. Well, of course. Wow, this is one of the original brothers here. 1842 to 1892. Brother Frank George Jr. Well, he wasn't here when they first built the mission, but not too long afterwards. As you can see, the hills are right behind the mission. We got Patrick Costello here. He died January 20th, 1904, age 85 years old. He was a native of County Kerry, Ireland. I find it interesting that I've seen several markers here with people who were born in Ireland. One last look at the old bell tower before we head out of the old cemetery. I gotta say, this is a pretty wild looking marker. To the memory of my husband, who departed this life January 15th, 1873, age 55 years and 27 days. J.M.R. Lewis. In case you were wondering, this is what you call a cradle grave. They call it that because it kind of resembles a cradle, and you're supposed to put flowers in there come the spring. I never saw a church before that actually has a skull and crossbones above the door. But I guess this sign here gives us a little bit of knowledge on that one. It says, the bodies of hundreds of our predecessors from the mission period, Native Americans, Mexicans, and Spaniards alike, rest here. In that time, graves were marked with small wooden crosses, if marked at all. Thus, the skull and crossbones over this door proclaimed this area as the cemetery. And there you go. They have an organ right up there. I bet it sounds magnificent. As we approach the altar here, I've got to say, there's a trend that I've been seeing more and more in churches, unless I'm missing out on something here. I noticed that they cover up a lot of the statues of the saints, and it seems like such a shame. I hope it's not because of vandalism, but this is really magnificent, and it's quite incredible that this has sustained for 225 years. I'll just give you a total round shot here. Really a beautiful place. And I've got to say, this is the only church I've ever been in that has crystal chandeliers. Well, there you go. I'm Bryan in Fremont, California, and now you can say you've been to the old San Jose Mission in Fremont. It's a beautiful place to spend a few hours, and people like to honk at me while I'm doing the sign-off here. Thank you. At any rate, I should mention that, they were probably trying to remind me that we do have a Patreon link down below. If you like these vlogs and you'd like to support them, please click the link. We always support that. We always appreciate that. Anyway, what can I say? There you go. I'm Bryan. Go on, get on with your day.
Something old, something new, something for me, something for you. It's a big, big world. Let's check it out.